those of you from abroad, welcome to Seoul, Korea. And welcome to Samsung campus. And welcome to 2017 ONOS Build event. My name is Sohyong Chong. I am the head of NFV SDN platform development at Network Business Unit of Samsung Electronics. We are thrilled to host 2017 ONOS Build event and to have a large number of people attending. I think we're expecting about 350 people. Maybe it's too early for the people to attend at this time. 350 people have been registered. Today, I would like to share with you what we've been doing at Samsung with ONOS in our NFV SDN development. Before that, let me start with giving you a brief introduction of Samsung and Network Business Unit. We are here, Seoul campus. It's about south side of Seoul. It's about 15 minutes from Gangnam style. And the place that I work, Network Business Unit, is located in Suwon. It's about 30 kilometers south of here. And call it Digital City. As you can see why they call it Digital City. It's massive, right? It's about 30 times bigger than the facility, the campus here. Let me give you a brief on the Samsung Electronics business divisions. There are three main business divisions under Samsung Electronics. IT and mobile, consumer electronics, and device solutions. My guess is that most of you know Samsung as a consumer electronics company. You know, TVs, you know, your monitors, and also Galaxy phones, you know, Note just came out, right? But as you can see on the slide, there are many different business units. That includes Network Business Unit. Today, I'll be speaking to you as part of the Network Business Unit at Samsung. Let me give you what drives, let me start out with what are the drivers for NFV SDN? And certainly true in Korea, LTE capacity is ever growing. The capacity expansion. Now the operators have a choice when they need to increase the capacity. They can either continue to support with legacy solution, or they can go with NFV solution. Operators have been asking for service agility, automation. With the NFV and SDN, some of our customers said that their new service deployment time has gone down to less than a month from several months with the legacy solution. That's the rollout time. That includes the pre-validation, you know, post deployment and post-validation altogether. Also technology advancement, also open source community, just like ONOS. There have been large amount of advancement in technology, and especially with the help from the open source community, like ONOS, OpenStack, ON.Lab, DPDK, and also white box hardware solutions. And also 5G. 5G requires virtualization. So what is our Samsung's the architecture look like in a nutshell? They are very high level. It's a software-defined platform with open API, based on open source, with orchestration and management built into it, and also to support platform as a service functionality, such as database as a service, analytics as a service, load balancer, storage as a service, things like that. And with virtualized and cloudified core and RAN functionality, and end-to-end orchestration along with the network slicing, operators can provide a network as a service with the Samsung platform. And the platform also supports basis for additional software development, such as tools, analytics, the customized automation. As I said earlier, technology advancement with the large number of open source community. Samsung's have been part of many open source community. And we are participating actively in some and passively in some others. And just to give you an example, the platform that I shared you in previous slide, the Samsung platform contains about 80% of the code base from the open source. So very large amount of code base coming from the open source. That includes ONOS, OpenStack, DPDK, OBS, Ceph, and so on. And to give you our participation level and ONOS, because we are in ONOS build event, in 2017, number of contributors, code contributors from Samsung is about 24 people. Engineers contribute to the ONOS project and various projects. In 2016, it was 0. And we intend to increase even more in 2018, our participation level. Okay. Let me give you a use case example of what we've been doing with ONOS. This one looks familiar, right? The one on the left-hand side, that's MCO. And we have been adding, enhancing some of the functionalities to MCore. It's basically MCore structure. It's not exactly the same, but the structure is MCore structure. Some of the things that we've been adding, I think Guru mentioned earlier in his presentation, is that the configuration, device configuration. We call it as a underlay network automation. We automate the day 0 to make it as a plug and play. We also automate day 1 configuration. If you work with the switches, you might have noticed that not every switches, most switches actually support different interfaces. There are different CLI, there are different REST API, different Yang model, they're all different. Right? So we've been working with multiple switch vendors and providing the drivers or southbound interfaces, as Guru mentioned earlier, to ONOS, such that we can configure a multi-vendor switches. And that allows our customers not to have a vendor lock-in in their switch hardware vendor. It's a completely disaggregate model. But we've been also challenged in that respect is that not many switch vendors, especially non-white box switch vendors, support OpenFlow. So that's one of the challenges that we've been dealing with, and one of the challenges that we've been working with the many various hardware vendors to overcome that. But for those that supports OpenFlow, what we have introduced is the OpenFlow certification, which is an automated confirmation test tool to verify ONOS and the switches can interoperate for open flow support. We also added overlay network automation with service assurance. In addition, we added network slicing automation, and to tie them all up, we added 3D network visualization. Network slicing is another use case. Now, it can be part of the M4 or the 5G, but we put it as a separate use case. In 5G, the environment is that you need to support heterogeneous services, huge throughput services, ultra-low latency services, and massive connectivity services. With the end-to-end orchestration and dynamically controlled network management, that we're providing the network slicing from RAN to core. So what did he do? What have we done to support network slicing in ONOS? We had to add additional functionality in the ONOS to support SLA, QoS, mobility. And also, we introduced a new box called Network Slice Manager. It's not part of the ONOS. It's actually it's orchestrator. It's outside of ONOS. That Network Slice Manager is the one that orchestrates slice end to end. And also the closed loop automation is becoming a big topic, right? And it is more relevant in a software-defined environment with SDN and NFV. And our support, even for the network slicing, what we have done is that we have SLAs and QoS monitoring and add that in with the closed loop control such that we can control or can manage or can meet SLA of each slice. We can control the traffic characteristics or the programming parameters of each services based on the real-time monitoring with the control loop. This is actually a screenshot from our Network Slice Manager product. And you can see the live demo outside of this, at the exhibition hall, right outside of this auditorium. The particular screen that you're seeing is the throughput management. This is 3 different slices. And we're monitoring in real time, and we're adding that into the closed loop control, and we're controlling it to meet the SLA at the flow level and at the service level. Okay, what have we been doing in ONOS code base? What are the changes that we're making? Right? So I highlighted some of the functionalities that we've been making changes to. And of course, this doesn't include all the base functionalities that Guru showed in his earlier presentation. I grouped them in 2 use cases. One is data center fabric control use case, which is that extends to the core, M core, and the other one is network slicing use case. And in terms of the drivers, we've been working with various switch vendors and data center switch vendors, and we had to introduce or adapt to their differences in their APIs and their management interfaces. So we added a fair amount of code base for the driver layer. And also, we had to modify some of the southbound interface layer. And in particular, we had to add the SSH layer and also the gateway control layer. And some of this code have been upstream to the ONOS community, but some has not been yet. There are actually a fair amount of code base that actually sits outside of the ONOS code base. However, our intent is to upstream them as quickly as possible. I think we need to work with the ONOS to see how we can upstream them quickly. But our intention is to upstream them by the end of 2018. We're not taking this NFV, SDN, or software-defined networking journey ourselves. We're taking them with our customer. And the dots listed here is the current commercial deployment and the trial deployment of Samsung product. The deployment use cases include LTE virtualization, virtualized LTE, virtualized core, virtualized RAN, and the new vertical market, such as private LTE, IoT, cellular IoT, NB-IoT, and also 5G virtualized core and virtualized RAN. Just not to confuse you, the commercial deployment has been in the virtualized network functions or NFV platform. Does not include the ONOS-based SDN controller as part of it. However, we do have trial customers deployment that includes the ONOS-based SDN controller as part of NFV SDN overall solution. Oh, I went too far. I asked the guru that my material is about 20 minutes long, so I asked him to cover, make his presentation a little longer. But I hope I gave you some brief on Samsung's activities with ONOS and with other open source communities. I hope I succeeded in that, but there are other opportunities. There are opportunities in particular this afternoon with the Samsung's technical session presentation. Please attend that. You can get a little bit more details on what we've been doing. Also, please stop by at the exhibition. The Samsung has booths there, and to take a look at our product and also see the live demo. Thank you, everyone. Have a great event.